Hello, internet friends. Indy, get off my lap, please. Dog, child. I'm just gonna adjust my light. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. So some of you may have seen my it's a dog there. Some of you may have seen my post I made in the community section of should I drink an extra large coffee in preparation of this live stream. So I took my coffee and hey, I mix it with coconut ice cream. And so that's what I'm drinking right now. I feel as though the ice cream is displacing some of the caffeine, and that's fair, right? So, hey, Vera, what's up? Wow, that is a 10 out of 10 coffee. I'm just saying. Oh, nice. Thanks, Hail Damage. Yeah, we've seen a few people show up recently that I don't know, so maybe they came over from you. Hello, friends. So I've been up since very early this morning, and I was thinking of what we could talk about, and certainly the best thing we could talk about is just discovering each other's brains a little bit further. So I have a few questions. I'm going to drop them in the stream. Also, I have kind of bad allergies at the moment, so I apologize if I'm sniffling at all. Are INTJs type A? You know, I think there's probably a spectrum. Carl Jung says that there's no complete extrovert, no complete introvert either. So I think there's a spectrum within the INTJ type. All right. Hello, friends. Hello, internet friends. Okay, so first question, we're going to answer together so that we can, and when you're answering, if you have already dropped your type, that's cool. But if you haven't, drop your type so we know what you are. What is something you think every person should experience in their lifetime? If you should be studying, I mean, you'll figure it out either way. I believe in you. You'll make the right choice. I'm so well put together. Thank you. I'm sniffling right now and I'm drinking coffee, and I've been up since 4:45 this morning. So, it's just a normal Saturday. Hey, from Hungary. Enjoy LSD. Okay, well, held down, we go right to the center of it. Oh yeah, it is the golden ratio. Good eyes. There it is. Joy, hard work. Wow. Okay, great answers. Live outside the country, the joy of research, horseback riding. Yeah, the question is enjoy, experience failure. Yeah. Shrooms and LSD. Right on. Do you have COVID? No, I don't have COVID. There's just like some kind of allergy in there. It's just getting to me. I'm not sick though. I'm not sick. Success, acceptance, love, homelessness, as weird as I said. Actually, Andrew, I had a friend who's an INFJ who purposely went homeless for like a few months just to experience it. So, strangely, I think he would agree with you. Feel alive. To feel alive, what does that even mean? Let's see. It's not a dog allergy. I'm not allergic to my dog. He's a good puppy. Have you guys heard that song, that Good Puppy song? Oh my gosh, it's very funny. It'll get stuck in your head though forever. What's something you think everyone should experience in their lifetime? I would say like a non-monetary community system. So like something where contribution is like the value that is spread between people versus money, because I think that so often that we are focused to look at money as like the central point of like, you need this thing to be able to produce this thing and to get this thing over here, and you need this thing, money, to get this thing over here, and like that is the normal sensory value that people look at. But you know, I think community systems where value is placed in different sensory things, I think is really interesting, and a lot of people could benefit from it. So we're all secretly androids. Yep. Okay. To feel it, fully live your inferior functions. Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, well, you mean like live them well? I'm guessing that's what you mean. Getting a tattoo. Right on. All right, money is fake. Okay, this is good. All right, we're moving on to the next question. Let's see. Okay, here we go. If you had the opportunity to travel to another planet with no chance of ever coming back to Earth, where would you go? That's the question at hand. I'm just gonna go for the first answer that comes into my head, which is Europa, the Jupiter's moon. It's covered in ice. I just want to see what's under the ice. I want to know what's under there. Oh, thanks, Joe. Wherever the aliens are from. Black hole. Yeah. I mean, the black hole would be great if we had some protection device to not string us into spaghetti, which is what happens when we get close. You turn into human spaghetti. Isn't that great? So if you had protection equipment that would not turn you into black hole human spaghetti, then I would definitely go check out the black hole and never come back. Witness a supernova. Quasar wins, anyone? That would be dope. The planet inside my imagination. Hey, the imagination can have some good planets. A white hole. Yeah, that would be interesting. A higher dimension. Yeah, let's skip out of 3D. Let's go check out 4D, 5D, the sixth dimension, which many people think may be, well, not that one in particular, but they think other dimensions are the spiritual, can be some spiritual dimensions, which I think could very well be true. Okay, this is interesting. You guys have some interesting answers. Susan's like, I'm not interested in other planet travel. It's okay, Susan. We'll keep Earth for you. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. This one is so. I mean, this can have such a range to it. What's the? Oh, I thought that said weirdest. It says, what is the wisest thing you've ever heard someone say? Not the weirdest. So you can enter as the weirdest or the wisest thing you ever, the wisest thing I've ever heard someone say. I'm trying to think. It really depends like what genre of wisdom you're looking at, because it's like I could say, oh, this is the wisest thing I've heard as it relates to blank, But as it relates to something else, I'd be like, that's definitely not the wisest thing I've heard. You know what I'm saying? Life is about balance. Oh, yeah, actually, I would probably agree with that one out of anything. Crack kills, so wear a belt. Probably something Nietzsche said. When you raise your voice, you've lost the argument. Ah, I like that one. That has a specific context to it, but I would agree with that hail damage in a lot of ways. Less is more. Less definitely is more. Give me the freedom from distraction and clutter any day. So nice one, Brett. This too shall pass for sure. For every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. Words don't hit back. I'm just enjoying reading your answer. Sorry, I'm probably not being as entertaining as possible. But then again, we're all friends here. You guys know that this isn't going to be the most entertaining live stream, but it's an INTJ live stream, so you get what you get. Okay, what is one mistake that you will never do again? One mistake that you will never do again. Someone who asks, why is everyone quoting someone? Because the last question I asked, we're studying each other's brains right now for anyone who's new to the stream. So we're seeing the spectrum of perspective right now as it relates to certain questions. What is the one mistake that you will never do again? Neglecting my education. Nice. Marriage. Do INTJs like ENFPs or ENTPs? We need answers. I would say that I like both of those types equally. It really just depends on the mindset of the person who is that type, because you could have a really, not great ENTP and a really not great ENFP, but just depending on their perspective towards life, which is just like outside of the type, their growth mindset, that is the one I would choose over the other. Not to trust my gut reaction. Interesting. Hail damage is cracking me up right now. Okay. You were LiJo before you were LiJo. Was I? Yes. You keep missing these live things. Well, you're not missing it right now. So, hey, what up? Glad you can make it. Okay, so the question I just asked is, what is one mistake that you will never do again? I'm trying to think of for myself for this one. One mistake. Oh, I know one. It's kind of dark though. So one mistake that I would never make again is there was a point where I could realize in a friend of mine's language that he wasn't, it was just through written language, but I could tell that he wasn't mentally stable. And I knew that some other people in his life weren't seeing it. And so I tried to be like, hey, someone should really get him some help. Like I can tell. And they're like, it's not a big deal, whatever. And I was like, no, I really think it's hard to explain, but sometimes when you see people's language, I think it's an NI will definitely pick up things that are out of sorts within the processing of language and like of the cognition of a person. And so I was like picking up on this over first about a month. And I kept telling other people like, hey, like someone should like, you know, make sure he's okay, should give him some help or whatever. And like the thing was is like I didn't do it. I didn't go and take responsibility of like I'm going to like make myself more sensory involved. And because I didn't do that, I mean it's not just that, but anyway, he didn't end up doing so well after that. So is my okay? What happened? Did you miss any of the story? I think my signal went down for a second. Yeah. So anyway, he things didn't end well for him, and I feel as though like I was the one who saw the pattern. I should have taken more responsibility in reality for what happened. Even though it technically, I could always say, oh, it technically didn't have anything to do with me. Yeah, sure. Notice something, I should have infused myself more in reality. And so I don't think I'd make that mistake again for that reason. So. Hey, Gonzalo, we are just, I'm asking everyone questions and we're all answering so we can see the spectrum of perspective within the chat. Yeah, sorry, I was cutting out for a little bit. Okay. All right, so next question. Okay, this is a fun one. This is really fun. This is FI fun. Ready? Bob, for your answer, it's hard for me to get present, and like I'll have moments like I'll feel like I'm constantly trying to ground myself. Like the way I've been describing NI to people recently is it feels like you're constantly traveling in an airplane, and then when you have to interact with like reality or present moment things, it's like you have to land the plane, right? But then as soon as like the context of that situation changes, it's like you're off the ground again, back in NI land. And then it's like, oh no, something else is happening over here. And you have to go like bring yourself down to like interact with that situation. So it's like, not that it's impossible, but the kind of the effort that it requires that's what's so draining for us in terms of that extroversion. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. So yeah, we can do it. It can be a challenge. Hey, Crystal. All right, so next question we're going to answer to get the spectrum of perspective here is, what's something that no one else knows about you? No one else knows about you, but now everyone's going to know it about you who's in this chat, so choose wisely, friends. But we're all friends here, right? So hello, new friends. We're asking questions for you all to answer. I'm typing them in the chat thing. So what's something that no one else knows about you? Oh boy, what can I answer here safely? Oh boy, it might take me a minute to think of something. Oh, here's one that no one knows. This is so random too. I used to write songs to Walt Whitman's poems in second grade. It's just like very strange. I would like make up melodies on the piano, and then I'd put his poems to like the melodies. I don't know, very weird second grade thing to do. It is a dangerous question. It's a hard question, I know. You're writing a novel, and it's very FI, very nice. Yeah. And I can be strangely psychic. I hate referring it to that way because it just makes it sound so fake. So that's why I hate using that psychic term, even though that's like something that Carl Jung used with NI. It's just, it makes me cringe a little bit, but I understand why. I think you're a hopeless romantic. Am I turbulent? I'm an assertive INTJ by whatever system says that thing. You're not as smart as most people think you are. You know, I think, Evan, I think that everyone who's actually smart is in the same boat as you, because the smarter we get, the more we realize we don't know. I play Just Dance when I'm home alone. That's awesome. You're winging it most of the time. Hey, I'm right there with you. I think we all wing it a lot in life. Now, there's plenty of things that I overplan, but the thing is like, everyone's just faking it until they make it. Susan says she does have feelings. I believe in you, ENTJ, Susan. I know that they're deep down there. You're an FJ. You hate that you're not efficient using social media. Oh, I don't hate either. YouTube is, I think, what I've gotten best at. Hey, thanks for the super chat. What do you think of the unreasonable similarity between INTJs? It seems other groups have more spread while INTJ are distinct. You know, I think there's a spectrum of INTJs as well, but I think that there are certain characteristics. So, for example, I've been studying like typing on the 512 scale for over the past 2 years. And now it's likely because it is my type, but for me, someone who actually has Savior NI, it's a very clear characteristic for me to see. And it's also very clear to see when it's not NI. So I think other people may pick up on that one's, it's hard to explain, but NE, SE, they're functions that they're going outward, they're extroverted within the environment. And SI is very, very different than NI. SI is so ordered and structured in the real world. It's so point by point, line by line. And then NI has this strange form of organization, but it's abstract and it's reduced down to like these singular concepts that make our internal worlds make sense and work. Hello, hey, Savannah. Okay, I got lost a little bit. Yeah, I think the differences are due to our NI interests most of the times, isn't it, Lindsay? It could be interest, but the thing is, like, I think everyone could be interested in everything for the most part, but I think there's just something strange about NI that it's like people can't put their finger on. They're like, especially first slot NI, it's like, you're like, okay, that person is doing something, but I don't really understand it. And I think that's the thing that like I noticed the most is people would realize something about my personality, but they could never put their finger on it. It wasn't until typology that I kind of got to know it. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it worse. It's just, it is what it is. And so I think there's some kind of distinguishing factor there. But every type has that as well, just in different ways. Terrible tempers. I mean, I don't really have a temper. I'm like very even keeled as it relates to emotions. Like if this is the sailboat and these are my emotions, it's just like that the majority of the time. So I wouldn't say that's an INTJ specific quality, at least. Okay. Yeah, we're pretty calm and collected. And the thing is like if I do get emotional about something, it feels very embarrassing to me. Like, and I know the FIs and the FEs are out there are like, it's just part of being human and having emotions as a human. And then on the inside, I'm like, but it's so embarrassing that they should show their faces. But at the same time, I know that's what it's part of whatever, all the FE, everything the FE person said is true, and the FI person. Okay. Do I have an exact 512 twin? Yes, I do. Drew Barrymore. She is a 512 twin. I have another girl as well. And then a really close one with just the interior animals swapped is Anna Akana. She's on YouTube, so she's pretty easy to find. So yeah, myself and Anna Akana, very close. Wow, this coffee with this ice cream in it, this coconut ice cream, 10 out of 10, gotta tell you. Okay, let's go on to another question. Ooh, should we drop this question now? Yeah, why not? Okay, here we go. Sorry if I'm boring you. This is an INTJ live stream. You can't expect it to be like someone with FE. If this isn't an ESFJ live stream, okay? You get what you get, and sometimes that's going to be coffee that I just spilled on my lap, and now I have to wipe off and wipe on this cushion. So, okay. So my question that I just asked in the chat is, do you believe there is good in everyone? Do you believe there is good in everyone? Now, this means just, okay, 0.5% is still some good in everyone, okay? So even if you believe in 0.5%, your answer has to be yes. But you may say no, that it doesn't. There's no good in anyone. I know. What? Thank you. So what is good? What is evil? This is the thing, this is why we're doing this, because it's up to your perspective of that definition of those words. Evil, is there some of that in everyone? We all define things slightly differently. So I believe that everyone has good in them as it relates to their definition of good. Now, so their subjective definition of good, if that's how we're defining good versus evil, then I would say yes, everyone certainly does. Now, if you were to take the collective definition of what good versus evil is, then I would still say that everyone would have at least some point of similarity toward what's in there somewhere, but significantly less than if you were to look at their subjective viewpoint of what good is. Who's collective? Everyone. The collective spectrum of humans alive on the planet. Yeah, very much, Joshua, same. Okay. Oh, you found out you've been married to an ISFJ? I don't have a lot of experience with ISFJs, Kurt, but I would imagine what you could do to support an ISFJ would be to allow them the space to be creative, to have some fun with the NE, which is their last function, and provide like a safe SI environment in which they can, maybe explore, become more creative, and not feel responsible for doing the SI, which is their innate responsibility, is to take care of things in physical reality and to do things for their own reasons, to do things for their own TI. So that'd be their third function. People are so complex. Yes. Okay. All right, next. Where are we going to now? Ooh, interesting question. Sorry, you guys can't see any of the questions I'm looking at right now, but I'm going to drop one in the chat in just a moment. Oh gosh. All right, this is going to be the polarizing question. I already know what two functions are going to be divided on this. Ready? Here we go. Do you think the end or the means is most important? Explain yourselves. William, I was IQ tested when I was very young. I don't remember what it was. There was some weird area that I was like strangely high in that like doesn't actually do anything in the real world, but I forget what that was. The means. Interesting. Both. No, you gotta pick one. You can't pick both. The end is already theoretical. Yes, indeed it is. Progress is the only meaningful thing that exists. Thank you, Yoda Brett. The means. Interesting. Ah, very interesting. Okay, so very interesting. So I think that the TE FI axis will kind of swing one way on this. Is Susan still in the chat? I want to know how she answers this. Oh, the means. Okay, if you get there unethically, it isn't good. Okay, and then I think the NISC axis. It could go either way though. So for me, for me, it's the end point does justify the means. Now, hopefully the means can be acceptable on the way to getting there. But the thing is like, if the means are what people consider, good or okay, or this is a good means to get along to this, you may never reach the point that would actually change something. You may never actually reach the point that will actually help people. You may say, if you're just like cruising along here, everyone's comfortable, everything is good, but you never reach the thing that actually needs to happen in order for something to be significantly better, or whatever this thing is, then it's like, for me, this floating in this okay land isn't worth it, because they ever reached it. The thing that would actually make, let's say, people's lives better never was able to occur. So for, through my perspective, the end does justify the means. Sometimes it's a turbulent process to get there, but so is life. And, some of that's also probably my own perspective of, I'm okay putting myself in uncomfortable situations for the sake of reaching somewhere I want to go. But at the same time, everyone has their own autonomy to go live life the way they want to as well. But that would be my personal answer. How do you even know if the goal is attainable? Usually I know if a goal is attainable. Me and I talking, but usually my goals are very reasonable, and there's never something I'm really like setting out to do that can't happen the way that I see it to happen. I'm sure I could make up something that couldn't happen, and then it wouldn't be able to happen, but those are usually not the things that I would go for. Okay. How do you deal with the prospect of your own death? It's just the journey that continues on. You can't destroy energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed. So you go on, my friend. Doesn't end here. Okay. I have to have a goal to drive me forward. An end game I'm fixed on. Yeah, same, Savannah. There's a weird high-pitched noise coming from your mic. Oh no, is it bad? How bad is it? Is this better? Can you hear me better now? Do I have to hold it up like this? Or is it my AC in the background? Hello. Are you an encyclopedia of knowledge? No, Drake. But I'm an encyclopedia of some knowledge. It might be the AC. Okay, there's nothing I can do about that then because it's about like 100 degrees here. So that thing's not going off. It's not too bad. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, it's either this or I sweat and dehydrate myself along with this delicious coffee that I'm drinking because wow. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I find like a sensory thing that it just like it's because I'm not seeking sensation throughout my life as a focal point. I have SC, but it's fourth, right? So I'm not consciously seeking SC at default regularly, right? We all do SC, whatever. But then it's like I'll stumble upon something that's like very commonplace, like sensory, and then I'll experience it and I'm just like, whoa, has anyone ever tried coffee before? This stuff is amazing, right? Or I mean, I didn't just discover coffee, obviously, but it's the only reason I have a YouTube channel. But like a few years ago, like I really tried like chewing gum for the first time, and I was like, wow, gum is really great. And I said this to someone, and they were just like, Lindsay, you're discovering gum now. Like, you're telling me gum is great, and I'm like, it's really great. And it's funny. It's definitely a demon sensory thing. Who are you? Like, when do you SC? I don't know. But I do. I mean, we all do. But it's just like, it's not first. It's fourth. So a little slower. You're in the Ukraine. Hey, what up? Oh, another thing is like people who have demon sensory. When we find a sensory thing that we find to be great, it's like that is our sensory for as long as we can possibly keep it. And it's like we love like that one sensory because it's like we found the one thing and we don't want to take in more new. We don't want to take in more new sensation. So it's like we'll have like this special thing and we're like, okay, that's great. Like that's, I only need one, I don't want to change it. I just have. So like a few years ago, I got this wagon that I would use to like kind of cart stuff around, and I had to like pull stuff around before then. Anyway, it's a long story. So I had this little collapsible wagon, and I just this wagon, I tell you, it was like the best thing. And anytime I saw someone struggling with something, I'm like, hey, want me to send you I can send you a link to this wagon. It's the best wagon. And it's just like I'm talking about a collapsible wagon like as if they were just created. It's ridiculous. Yes, I agree. Drink less caffeine. I do take magnesium every single night, and I do go to sleep not on time. Oh, here's a really good one for you guys to answer. All right, check that one out. Where do you draw the line between helping people and showing them how to help themselves? How do you strike that balance? I think that's a great question. So where do you draw, how far do you help people before before you get them to help themselves? How do you show them to help themselves? It is a puppy. I'm sorry the dog scared you. Their time, your time. Determine intent and capability. That's a great way to put it.
If you want help, really pay for it. Money.
The dog is ISFJ. Yes, Indy is ISFJ. Did you remember that, or did you just think that? Charity equals helping people who can't help themselves. That's a good point. But can't everyone help themselves to some extent? I mean, I guess there's things like disabilities. Yeah. I think there's okay, so this would be my perspective, right? I would say that there's a threshold of time in which someone, maybe there's a life event that they were not prepared for, something that came up, maybe they were in an accident, something to which a period of grace in which they can reground and reorient themselves in terms of going in a new direction, having to adapt to something. I think there's a time frame for that, but after that time frame has passed, I think you have to cut it off to allow them to learn how to do that thing on their own, because otherwise you're just being a facilitator of them not learning how to do something and not being able to adapt, because what if something happens to you, then they're screwed. So I think there's a time period for reorientation when something may happen, but then after that, gotta cut the cord. Understanding others' limitations. Yep. It's like lowering the dose of the help drug. Teaching people how to help themselves. Yes, exactly. Am I comfortable asking others for help? No, I'm not. To be perfectly honest on that answer, I'm not. And that's not so me being uncomfortable, it's me being over controlling with the situation, because it's like I want to do it the way that I think it should be done, but then there's also times when I'm realistic with the fact that I can't do everything and I can't know how to do everything. So then it's that point of like opening up to being like, okay, I have to trust you and your skill level to be able to do this thing. And usually I have a pretty good grounding for people who are okay with that and can do that. But yeah, I don't like asking for help. It's not easy. Yeah, all the savior TEs are like, nope, no help here. Get out of here with that help. I'm supposed to help you. Tell me your problems. Not tell me your problems, but like tell me how I can solve something for you. Hello, INTP friend. We're asking questions to the spectrum of people. You only ask for help when you trust someone. Yeah. Yep, Google. I mean, I trust Google a lot of the time. Google can be pretty good. But also, it can also be full of tricks, so. All right, we're gonna go into another question. Wow, can you guys hear that truck outside? Very loud. Okay, hold on, here we go. I'm gonna drop in another question. Is that the loudest truck I've ever heard? Okay, hold on. I'm looking for a good one. I don't want to give you guys something that's crappy. Oh gosh, now these questions are just getting not that great. Oh, okay, this one's okay. In one sentence, who are you? Yep, there we go. In one sentence. In one sentence, who are you? I'm looking forward to this answer. In one sentence, who am I? Oh, you guys are so great. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Nice. Anything. I kind of believe that. Present. You're a nerd, simply put. I feel you, Crystal. I'm just reading your question so I can figure out my own answer. I would say something along the lines of a person who is set on living out the expanse of the human experience through production and creation and emotional words, love, and honesty to the best of my ability within the time that I am given. Something along that. If I wrote it out, it'd be better, but I'm having to say it. Gonzalo, I wasn't cheating, okay? I didn't say anything everyone else said. That's a long, yeah, it was a long sentence, okay? If I write it out, then I can get it more together. But sometimes things like that, you have to, I mean, what can I say? So more simple. I can't. I'm sorry. I would have to listen to it back and then, simplify a little bit. Okay, so. Okay. Here we go. Here's a good one. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, don't get too, I don't want to say don't get too deep on this one, but actually, no, but take it wherever you want. You're your own boss. Okay. So the question is, what could you pay more attention to in life? What can you pay more attention to in life? What could you pay more attention to in life? And I have an answer for this one right away, because it's something I've been marinating a lot on recently, and that is meaningful interactions with people. Because I tend to get so caught up in my own direction of The Thing. For any of you who have seen the Thing video, I get so focused on the thing, and it's very hard for me to pull away and to not only ground myself in reality, but then ground myself in reality with personal things. And so I realized that because of that, sometimes I'm not really being intentional with my interactions with other people in a way that provides any kind of it's like I know I provide value, but I also know I could do a better job here enough, in which I'm trying to do something intentional within that interaction. And so being more present, I would say, with people to people things. And yeah, I've been thinking a lot about how I can, like the very small amount of people who I interact with, how can I make their lives a little bit better because I am a part of their life? Like just having that one simple goal in the back of my mind, but being conscious of it whenever I'm around. Like, what is one simple little thing I can do, which kind of like grounds the NI airplane I was talking about before. What's one simple thing I can do to make this person's life a little better because I was a part, and that's been able to help me it's been able to help me ground the airplane. It's been able to help me just kind of base myself in reality a little bit before, because now there's an NITE thing to solve, and now I can get my saviors on board with it. So I can be like, okay, well, what can I figure out to make this thing work, to provide some kind of FE value, to provide some kind of something, right? So yeah, that was a lot of words too, so. Okay. My reality is the thing. Yeah, the thing, let me tell you. I have to do another video. There is going to be another video. It's already written. It's either going to be called Another Thing, or what was the other name I had for it? Another Thing, or Someone Else's Thing. I forget what I had, but yeah, it's gonna be a sequel to The Thing, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Yeah, paying more attention to people. I'm glad you like the airplane analogy, Savannah. Yeah. What device am I streaming on? Just my laptop, my MacBook Pro. The Thing. It's more the thing. Not your thing. That's a good one. Yes. The Thing, a sequel. Oh, I don't think I'm exceptional and beautiful today, but thank you for thinking. So, I've been up since 4:45 this morning, so my look is the radiant glow of exhaustion. Did anyone answer that one other than me? What could you pay more attention to in life? What could you pay more attention to in life? Show me your answers. Anyone? Family, nature. Nature is a good one. You said getting signals from women. Emotions as the whole, planning the future, hot girls. Okay. What part of the country do I live in? I live in the southeastern United States at the moment. I was born and raised in New York. Other people's feelings. Yeah, those are good answers. Yeah, developing FE. You know what? FE is that function I have so much respect for because I just see it's like every time I think I get better at FE and every time I'm like, oh, I got some good tools in the toolbox for FE and I kind of stop paying attention to it for a little bit, all of a sudden a situation will come up where I'm like, I couldn't have done any worse with FE in that situation. And I just realize how quickly my functions will get out of practice with FE if I'm not consciously like checking into it every so often. It's a very, but I have so much respect for it. Like I see people who have FE in, you know, in life, in personal relationships. Like there's this lady who walks her dog out in the park where I walk my dog. And the other day, like she was talking to me and you could just, she is just gushing FE, but like in a very responsible, like adult way in which it was just like she was creating an environment that was so welcoming within her own conversation. And she was so in tune to like, you know, the signals that I was giving off and I was kind of ready to go. And like, it was just like, she was just mastering FE in front of me. And I'm just like, wow, it just makes you realize how far away you are from it sometimes. That's all. I have not read Never Split the Difference. Isn't it Chris Voss? But I have studied him as a human because I typed him. Yes, he does have a good FE. He does have FE. Are we more into artistic pursuits or science? Drake, I would say I think it depends where we are in our mental spectrum. I would say on the day-to-day, if you looked at me now, you would say science 100%. But, you know, in the future, like I look at my future life and I'm like, wow, one day I would love to be like producing X, Y, and Z things that illustrate X, Y, and Z concepts through artistic means. And so it's like, that is kind of within me. But if you look at me from the day-to-day, it's like, it's way more the nerdy science stuff. I'm not really into movies, as boring as that sounds, but I really don't watch any. Have I met an INTJ that has mastered FE, FI, SE, and SI? I mean, we're much more likely to master FI and SE because they're actually in our function stack. And the other 4 functions would be a lot harder. We can simulate them through the functions that we have. And we can, for instance, I can kind of look at combining my FI and my TE within my own mind to kind of conceptualize an FE approach to something by using those 2 functions together. But it's not FE. It's like not genuine FE. It's like the knockoff version of FE. You have my neighbor over there with her dog who has like genuine Italian-made FE. And then you have Lindsay over here with her like glued together pieces of FI and TE trying to be like, oh yeah, here, this is, you want to borrow this? This is some FE. It's not. Yeah, double deciders with high FE are superhuman. I completely agree, Savannah. Do I need to plan that FE? If I do plan it, it's better. But you can't always plan your FE, so you have to have some tools in the toolkit to be able to pick out and to throw to, you know, have some kind of FE tools to use. But obviously, yeah, if you can Planet, it's good. It feels like burning your hand on a hot stove. Why, Brett? Okay, you guys are funny. All right, let's do like 1 or 2 more of these questions. And then I'm losing my voice. And I'm also, oh wait, is there a little coffee left? Yep. Wow, that was the bottom of the ice cream too. That was delicious. Okay. Ooh, this one's interesting. Is your life complicated by unnecessary things? Check that one out. Is your life complicated by unnecessary things? And if it is complicated by unnecessary things, what do you define as unnecessary? That's the question. I'm sorry I didn't share. I didn't have enough coconut ice cream coffee for everyone. But it is the reason I was able to make it an hour into this live stream. So is your life complicated by unnecessary things? Is it? Is it complicated? What is unnecessary? Okay, and if it's not complicated by unnecessary things, what do you define as unnecessary? How necessary is MBTI? It's not necessary at all. You can get to Alaska by driving or by flying. But you know what? Sometimes flying is an easier way and it's a quicker, more efficient way to get to Alaska, even though you could totally make it there some other way. Same thing with personality type. A lot of the stuff in personality, a lot of people eventually learn down the line anyway. Some of them don't. Some people live their whole lives completely addicted to their savior functions and don't bring any balance, and that's very sad and unfortunate. But a lot of people will figure it out over time. Typology is a hack to get there a little faster. That's it. Drama is unnecessary for sure. For sure. You're creative, you create your own problems. Getting angry. Alaska is free. Gonzalo, get it out the live stream, okay? I'm just kidding, you don't have to leave. Will you go get your dull bass? No. That bass has not been tuned in a while. It would probably take me at least 3 minutes to tune it. And I don't know if you would really hear it through this microphone anyway. I don't even know if this microphone will pick up the vibrations. But who knows? Maybe sometime. No drum llama here. I think everyone makes things more complex than it needs to be. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people make things more complex. And myself included, I can make things more complex because I'll try to how do I say it? Like, I'll construct something perfectly, like the perfect A to B route, the A to Q route within my whole of things. And I'm like, no, this will be to get it. Like, this is how you get there, you know? So that's something I can work on. As an INTJ, is necessary to make jokes. I'm not really good at making jokes for other people, but sometimes I make jokes for myself and other people laugh. So that's great. I make myself laugh a lot, but most of the time it's not anyone else thinks it's very funny. You're kind of curious about extroverted sensing in INTJs. Extroverted sensing in INTJs. Extroverted sensing is the seeking of sensation. It's a very objective way of looking at facts in reality. I think actually Carl Jung says it's the most objective way to look at facts in reality is through extroverted sensing. And so, well, that's fourth for INTJs. We're not seeking reality to give us objective answers in reality. We are, with NI, what's happening is our brains are constructing these files that we don't see, and then something will stimulate a file basically that exists within our subconscious. And then all of a sudden we're like, this is how it is. Like, we'll be like, this is how this thing works. Or like, I know how to do this thing. And it's not based in reality. It's based on these pieces of these, sometimes to someone else it look like completely random things, but our brain has swung them together into this one thing that we now understand. But having to explain that to someone, kind of like I'm doing now, is almost impossible. I have another NI update video that I'm going to be doing where I try to explain it further, try to explain the process of NI further in a way that it doesn't get talked about as much. So that will come out. Oh, thank you. Not trusting your five senses. Let's see. People give you unnecessary crap. You don't want to feel obligated to keep it. You don't want to feel obligated to keep it. Be nice. Must be a terrible purchase, and it was expensive. So I have to look at the consequences. I'm sorry, Savannah. That can be really frustrating. Let's see. Yeah, theoretical opposed to real-time experience. Yep. And I see there's really struggle with community. All right, thanks, Toby. Okay, I'm trying my best over here. And it's more, okay, so again, the landing the plane analogy. I'm going to be using this more in the future too when I talk about this stuff. Is like, here, okay, so here's all the different files that exist, right? Well, not all, okay, so there's all these pieces of material in a file that we don't know is here, right? It's all up here. Here's the NI file. It's happening. All of a sudden, something, it could be real, it could be just a thought, it could be something. All of a sudden, there's some missing piece that like all of a sudden flies into this file, and then the file's complete, and we're just like, whoa, I understand whatever this thing is now. Now, our conscious brain isn't thinking about all of these other little pieces that had really gone into that. Sometimes we'll pick up on it and like we'll be like, oh, all this is connected. But for the most part, it's like, now I understand X principle, right? And so then you're trying to have to explain that to someone, like, okay, well, what do you mean this is what's going to happen? Or what do you mean this would be a good choice to make? Or what do you mean? And you're like, okay, so, and now we're trying to break apart the NI, which was just up here, like fermenting as all these little separate things that were now like pulled together. Now this is the thing, this is the NI now, right? Before it was nothing. Now we have NI. But now it's like we have to explain it in the sensory, and it's like, okay, how do I land this file from the sky down to reality and be like, here you go, here's a way for you to understand it. So that in itself is an art, one that I am trying to be better at. And I think that having TE wants you to get the reasons for something. It wants you to understand the integration into like your own life. So I think having TE kind of pushes me harder to explain the NI, where I might not if I had a different function or something like that. But yeah, it's one of the hardest ones to explain. And even Carl Jung says it's the one that people understand the least. It's impossible to explain the logic behind an aha moment to someone else. I try. Is deliberately looking for information an SC thing? Yes, it is. If I'm looking for something specific in reality, that is looking for sensory. Yep. Is it common for INTJs to feel like they have the most objective solution in the room? I know that my solution can often be objective, but I'm also not opposed to someone else having a potentially more objective solution. So I'm okay with my TE being out TE by someone. the logic, the reason isn't personal. It's not an introverted function. It's an extroverted function. So as it relates to TE, if I have a solution one way and then someone else is like has a different way and my NI goes, actually no, like it pieces little pieces together. It's like, no, that one would actually be better. My TE is like, all right, cool. That's the better one to go with. Otherwise, it's like I'm very quick to know, I guess, between what is in the bucket, which one would probably be best. Sometimes it's mine, sometimes it's not. So yes, I should SE more. Yep. If you know any of objective personality, I'm consume last, which means that SE is like exceptionally low. All right, so we're gonna do one more question together, and then I'm gonna give my voice a rest. So last question we will end on. Okay, we'll end on this one. What does it look like to make the most of your life? Is that too cheesy? Sorry. What does it look like to make the most of your life? I kind of feel like we answered that. I mean, to me, it's, living the expanse of the human experience in the most honest way I can, and creating and producing through that. NI-based activities. There is no NI-based activities because activities relate to the sensory. So it had to be activities all happening within your own brain, in which case all you're having to do is think about things and like find missing information that makes your brain light up. These things always keep falling out of my ears. Making systems that help as many others as possible. Nice. Freedom and adventure. To be planted in the soil and grow. It's very beautiful. Take full advantage of opportunities. Kids are alive forever. World domination. Self-actualization. Be respected by all. To be respected by all. That's I don't know what type you are. That's a very IP thing to say. IPs want respect. Do something that'll have a lasting impact. Nice. I think I'd like a good death. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but get as many thumbs up from obnoxious comments made after your bid drops. Hail damage. Making me laugh 2020. Completion. What are we talking about? So I've been dropping questions for the group to answer throughout this chat. Unfortunately, I'm about to roll it on down to completion now. So thank you guys for joining this live stream today. Hour and 15 minutes. Coffee. It was sponsored by coffee today, and coconut ice cream. So I will see you guys very soon. It was nice spending some time with you. manager. And hi guys. Are these ever scheduled? Gonzalo, my live streams are what I try to not schedule because I schedule everything else in my life. My live streams are a point of inspiration, which I know doesn't help you at all. But the thing is I don't want to schedule having to talk if I really don't want to. And so this is my one sensory thing that I do based off my FI. So that's what you get. I might schedule some more in the future, but okay. All right, guys, have an amazing night. See ya.